Alright, I think we need this in the shot. What do you think?
I was thinking we could put like right here, like this.
Yeah?
Like, oh. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't do it just... Because you got like...
Yeah, we can like hang them up, right? Alright, so for those who don't know, you need to know.
This is the villain.
The Madvillain. Okay, this is MF Doom. In this alias, he's Madvillain. Mad stands for Madlib, and of course, he's the villain.
Yep.
So Doom and Madlib. It's an album called Madvillainy. It's one of the most classic underground hip hop albums out there. There's about 22 tracks. My favorite one's Accordion. What's your favorite one?
There's so many on Madvillainy. I think it changes quite often. At first, it was Accordion.
Yeah.
I think now. I think for
Accordion.
I think now though it's Rhinestone and Cowboy. I think Rhinestone Cowboy is like
Cowboy.
So good. Goonie Goo Goo, Looney Cuckoo, like
Gary Gnu off
for
News
News Review,
Review.
the Who Knew the Mascot, the Loose Screw.
Hell could hardly tell. Yo, I guess let's start in the beginning. From like, what started you off with Madvillain?
You know the funny thing is, it was you. I forgot what I read. I saw something.
You just took this down.
Yeah, your face was gonna get covered. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, we just take turns. If you're talking, I hold it. I'm talking, you hold it.
So, what got you into Doom?
Okay, so I think I was listening to... I forgot who I was listening to, but MF Doom was mentioned. And I remember I asked you at the time, I was like, who's this? You know this MF Doom guy? You're like, yeah, I heard about him. No one really likes him, though. I'm like, why is that? And you were like, oh, you know, he's just like a weird character, and like people don't really like his music. He's like very niche, very... out of the box. And I'm like, oh, okay. And for whatever reason, it just compelled me. I'm like, let me Google this guy. Let me YouTube MF Doom. And I heard Doomsday, and that's where it all started. I heard Doomsday, and I'm like, this is my guy.
I didn't put you on to Madvillain?
I think you told me about him afterwards. I listened to Doomsday and all the songs off of that album. And then I remember I called you.
What was your first song off the album?
Doomsday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then from Madvillainy was Accordion. Because I used to say that one line where he says...
I can sing the whole song to you. Living on borrowed time like to...
just keep your...
the AIDS line?
No, he's like, just keep your eye out. Like, aye, Captain. Like,
just keep your eye out. Like, aye, Captain. Yep.
I was like, that's...
There's still a fly guy. Stop it if nobody ain't hear it. Yep. I mean, that aye, Captain... that's what locked you in.
Well, it's how like he goes up to that bar. I would have to have like the my iPad in front of me to look up the lyrics again. But yeah, Accordion was the first song off of Madvillainy I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I think on Food, my favorite song, again with MF Doom and each of his little like projects he had, each of his little albums. There's always a new song I fall in love with. I get obsessed with, right? There's so many songs on Food. Vomit Spit was like my number one song off that album.
Vomit Spit.
And then it used to be Rap Snitch Knishes.
Yep.
Actually, before that, it was Deep Fried Friends or Fiends.
I was about to say Friends.
Yeah, Friends. Yeah,
that's one. That's my favorite one.
And it's just
Friends. How many of us have? I mean, that's
Yeah.
off of a different song, but yeah. So what is it you like about Doom?
See, the thing about Doom is, and I think, so the reason I appreciate Doom a lot is that he is a very unique artist, right? He is his persona, right? He goes around wearing the Dr. Doom mask, right? He basically took Dr. Doom's personality. And the funny thing is, that's how I fell in love with Dr. Doom as well. Like, I had heard of Dr. Doom, but it's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then once I got introduced to MF Doom, and I saw how he, like, really puts that persona into, like, hip-hop, right? He's, like, the hip-hop supervillain. Like, this dude, like, he was known for, in his concerts, that he wouldn't be there singing. He'd send Doom bots, right? He would basically send imposters that looked like him and sing his songs. And that's what Doctor Doom did as well in the comics. Like
real life
this
villain.
he is, he is what he says he is. He talks the talk and he walks the walk as well. But I think coming from like an artistic perspective, like he really like studies his craft. He really studies his art, and he isn't ashamed of like, expressing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think if you want to do anything in terms of like starting a new venture, starting a new like hobby, or maybe if artistic endeavor, or maybe you want to start writing or whatever it is, right? You kind of have to almost make a new persona around that, I think, just so you can really hone in on that, right? Because at home, when he's at home, he's not MF Doom, right? He is Daniel Dumoulin, right? He's himself. I mean, that's what my assumptions are, right? But when he's rapping, he's MF Doom. He's a supervillain, right? So he's like it's like a superhero, right? Superman is Superman out when he's fighting crime. He's home, it's Clark Kent. So I think that's really interesting, and I think if you put that same like formula into like art, it works. Like there's so many artists out there that live by their artistic personality, and then there's someone else when they're home, right? I don't think it's as expressive as MF Doom is, though. I don't think any artist I've seen thus far has done it to the caliber MF Doom's done it. But I think that formula is really interesting to follow, whether you do photography or any sort of art or any sort of like side thing. I think it's important to set aside like a little like a superhero persona, and you're that person when you're doing that task, and then you come back to reality. What about you? What's your?
It was funny. Like when you were saying, I was thinking about how during COVID-19, I felt like I had like two personalities. There was me at home doing whatever I wanted. Yeah. But then I'm like, with my mask on, I'm like, I can be whoever I want to be. Like no one like sees my face. Yeah. I have my hoodie on, my mask on. I could be, I don't want to say like a Luigi, but like a Luigi, Manzoni, whatever his name is. But I can.
Where he been behind the mask? Who can't find me?
Yeah, exactly. So you can't like.
You're blind in the wine zone. Leave your mind blown.
Anyways,
I forgot.
Anyways, I can be sort of like that unknown character, like that blank canvas, and sort of adapt to my surroundings. And come back, and I'm me. I'm Barco. And so, now going back to me with the sort of the first song that got me into Doom was I remember the exact moment. My brother was a Doom fan before me.
Yeah.
Older than me. He on his MySpace page.
MySpace.
Yes, I went on his MySpace page. You can put songs on there. It was Madvillain. Great day today.
Oh
Looks
my
like
god!
It's gonna be a great day today.
About to get some fresh air like a straight on a straightaway.
To get some fresh air like a straight on a straightaway.
Hey, you got light?
No, Bud Light. Anyways, so that was the one that like I was like, Jay, like who is this guy?
Yeah.
I was listening to The Game and like other, I think maybe Common at the time. And I was like, I've never heard this guy before. Like, who is this guy? His name's Doom. You like that song? I could show you his album. I'm like, sure. And then it was like, I was listening to like accordion. I'm like, this is so unorthodox. So nothing I've ever heard before.
Yeah.
What? Like, who is this guy? Like known? He's underground. Yeah, he's underground guy. So my brother's telling me all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yo, this other guy. So I'm telling my brother, Jay, like, I don't know who. So he looks like this guy, but his name's MF Doom. Yeah, it's Metal Fingers Doom right there. Wait, Metal Fingers. Wait, hold on. I looked it up. I thought it was Metal Face. So Doom has all these different aliases that I loved. It's probably the worst business model to go off of because you're starting a new brand from scratch every time. But I love the aliases, man. Like he goes from MF Doom to Madvillain to
King Ghidorah.
And then
Victor
like
Vaughn.
JJ Doom, I think.
Yeah, JJ Doom with JJ Mouse, right?
Yeah. No, and then Danger Mouse.
That's what it was.
Yeah, JJ Doom was with another producer. That was sort of what locked me in. Like, there's a new story every time. It's a new villain. What is he gonna say this time? Victor Vaughn.
Yeah.
What's he gonna say this time? You know, that's what locked me in. Favorite album?
Mm-hmm.
I think Madvillain. Yeah, it has to be Madvillain. I'm thinking about it now though. It has to be Madvillain. Favorite song is Accordion because it's 2 minutes and like whatever 20 seconds worth of perfection. I can't get enough of the beat of that song.
Yeah.
Madlib being one, that was one of his hardest beats ever.
Yeah.
And the lyrics, it's just like I can't. It's just like living off borrowed time. The clock ticks faster. You know that an ode to that line was put in the recent comic book issue of Doctor Doom.
Really?
It opened up and you see living off borrowed time. The clock ticks faster. I think it was a microphone too. We could put it up, but that was. I was like, that is the best tribute we can to Doom right there.
You know what's actually crazy? I had gotten a gift from someone for my birthday, and it's a comic book. Like it was someone like created it, probably off Etsy, I think, and it was MF Doom looking at Doctor Doom, and they're about to like face off.
That is the best.
It is
gift.
I haven't put it up yet. What? I because the thing is I don't want to just put it up anywhere, right? It needs to like so. As we're talking about MF Doom, I have anything and everything that has to do with either Doctor Doom or MF Doom. So I have a bunch of Funko Pops that are Doctor Doom, all different variants they have. I have the cool exclusive drops, a few of them that Gas Draw drops for MF Doom. And I want to showcase it not as like a collector, but as like an art piece.
I like that. I like that.
Because like me personally, my attachment to MF Doom and Doctor Doom, like, okay, first of all, I don't think Doctor Doom, we could like that's a whole other thing I guess speak about, right? And I think what made me really fall in love with Doctor Doom was Doom Wars, right? I don't want to get too off topic, and so I would recommend anyone that's a comic fan that hasn't read Doom War to read Doom War. I think it's fantastic, right? And MF Doom does such a great job embodying that character. And I think for me, it's like seeing something different, right, than the norm that we're used to, right? Doctor Doom is considered a supervillain, right, in the Marvel Universe, so it's not like he's personifying like a good guy, right? He's personifying a supervillain, but the way he does it, it's like so captivating, right? So I can't just like hang a, I don't want to just hang it anywhere. It needs to like be given its like due diligence, right? I want it to be like a museum piece almost, where like you come in and you look at like, what's this? Well, let me tell you, this is Doctor Doom, this is MF, and tell people maybe instead of having like I only know 6 MF Doom fans. Since I started listening to MF Doom, maybe I can make a 7th one. Whoever sees this new installation, if I ever make it.
What do you think about the time he was alive? Like, by the way, I wish I went to a show. I never went to a...
Dude, that's... You and I wanted to do one so badly.
Yeah. So, what do you think is sort of the... What do you think about, like, his time when he was alive, dropping albums, JJ Doom... collaboration, his most recent stuff.
Like Scarface was his name?
I love Czarface and MF Doom when they did that collab. That was Bomb Throne is like my favorite song on that album. Like, and it was my favorite song.
I don't think I'm
21 or whatever, 2019, whenever it came out.
I don't think I'm that big of a Czarface fan. I don't. I tried listening to him.
But Doom.
Like, were we talking about like what his music is now or something? Like how they release his stuff? Is that what you're asking?
So we're talking a lot about old Doom.
Yeah.
When he was alive, dropping the more recent stuff. What do you think about him then? Were you listening to more of the stuff that he dropped? Like Catch a Throat Full from the Fire Vocal,
Ash and Molten Glass, I'm a Jolly Jokel.
Yes. So what about those types of newer Doom songs? And like. The one with Black Thought and Danger
So that was a good song, right? I think that was a good Doom song, but I don't I don't think I'd like, and it could be any artist. I don't think I like when they, unless if it was like an actual song, a verse that he did when he was alive, and they made it like, into a song and it works out, fits perfectly. I think I'm okay with that. I think what I don't like is when they use like AI and they're like, oh, we're gonna make the AI sing his voice or something like that.
What?
So like there's like you can use AI and have it sound like an artist, and you can have the artist in the song.
What are you talking
What
about?
I'm saying is, like the new MF Doom stuff that's being released and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying if it's like from the vault, from when he was alive, like this is a verse he threw.
No. I'm saying when he was alive.
Yes.
And he was making music near the end till his death.
Yeah.
Did you like the newer MF Doom stuff versus the old?
I like the old stuff. I like the old stuff definitely more.
Okay.
What was really cool about him though is that he's so near the end of his life, he was doing a lot of like, I guess, collaborative work with a lot of like lesser known artists, which I thought was really cool. And he has like a lot of decent songs, if not really good songs, with these like basically like no names at the time, right? I think they've since then either like blown up into stardom or they're just like doing better than they were before the MF Doom feature, right? So I thought I think that's interesting, that he was into that type of work, right? Like he's helping out these other artists and stuff like that. But that being said, like Dooman is like, dude, when he released what was the album with the Rosetta Stone on it? I always forget.
Danger Doom and Danger Mouse.
No, it wasn't Danger Mouse, is it?
No. Wait, what
the one that has that in it?
Oh, you mean Doom? Like who was regular just Doom?
It was Doom, yeah. It was his mask, and it was like a
Born
Rosetta.
Like This. Born Like This.
Born Like This. Yes, I sound like a fake fan, like not remembering the album names, right? No, it's been a while. Like, dude, that.
What was your favorite song on that?
Born Like This.
That's not. No,
sorry.
It Cells.
Cells. That's what it's called. Yes.
He said,
so I'm thinking about the poem.
Born Like
Dinosaur
This.
First of all, that poem itself. That poem in itself, if you take that poem from when it was written to now, it fits every single thing that's been going on. Not just like in like the terms of like what's going on in America, but I think the whole world as a whole, right? What I think MF Doom
Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. You think that's going on right now?
Yes. No, but the interesting thing is to take a poem like that. It's like following a really good act, right? Oh my God, how do I do that, right? Mm-hmm. MF Doom, it's not like, oh, let me take the light away from this poem. He's like, no, I'm gonna use this and progress it further, right? It's like taking the baton and going further.
Yeah.
It's like teamwork almost. So he takes this poem, right, and then he adds on to it with his his creativity, his knowledge of hip hop, his knowledge of everything, right? And he adds on to that poem the best way like MF Doom can, and that song, I think, because of that, is like the greatest song on the album.
What's some of your favorite Doom lines? I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
I'm thinking off the top of my head.
Born like this, into this.
That's from the poem.
That's from the poem, right? And then it leads to the Doom from the realm of alkaloon, smelling gel fume, separating cell womb. Like that.
Yeah.
The flow there, it was just the best opening for some weird reason. I love it. It's so gritty. Or like...
I'll be honest, you could take any bar from Vomit Spit or Great Day, and each bar I'm a fan of. Like those two songs specifically, each bar is just like fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like I'll say, like, you could give me the first verse, right? I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And then give me the second, I'm like, that's better than the last one.
Yeah.
Like those two songs, I think, just build up on each other.
What do you think of now his... So I have some weird feelings about this.
Yeah.
So you know about how he passed away, right?
Yeah.
I think you more told me what happened, and then I did some research after, but you knew more about it, I think. So, like, there was something that happened with his health, and then the doctors botched some things. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And then he passed away on October 31st on Halloween, Mask Day, ironically, which is the craziest thing ever. So
and we didn't know till New Year's Eve.
And that's what it was, right?
That's what it was. I'm like,
that's so poetic in a lot of ways. Sorry, maybe poetic's the wrong word. I mean, not to say it's like a good thing or whatever, but it was just crazy how that happened.
It's like a Doom thing.
As a Doom thing that happened. Yeah. Like, anyways, so since his passing, like, I don't know about the sort of merchandising campaign that is going on with, you know, these $100 sweatshirts and $60 socks. Maybe not $60, but
and those like $90 figurines.
Yeah, it's like, it's a lot. I would pay for it, but, and I don't know. Maybe the proceeds are going to the family and stuff, but like, I didn't get a lot of that from Doom when he was alive. I don't think he sold merch to this extent and pushed it this much. So it's like, I don't know what's driving that force. Maybe it's his wife. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Cool, but like, if Doom was alive and Doom was seeing this, do you think he would approve or not?
I don't think I can answer that question only because he's a super villain. He would take that money and just use it for himself. He would say, "Yeah, I'm just doing this because whatever. Haha, screw you. I'm a super villain." Like, he plays in that persona, right? We can't be mad at it. There was actually this, and I'll answer your question in a second. I just want to make this one point as well. There's a video on YouTube where this guy said Doom fans need to stop being hypocritical. And it was because people got upset that they would pay money to go see MF Doom, but they would see an imposter instead. Me, on the other hand, I thought that'd be cool. I think that's an interesting, like, okay, sure, I didn't see MF Doom, but then it's like, dude, we got played, like, it wasn't MF Doom, it was a Doom bot, like, that's so cool, right? I think that experience is interesting. It's like, oh, dude, yeah, we went to go see MF Doom, actually wasn't him, it was a Doom bot, right? It plays into his persona. So, to answer your question with the merchandise stuff, me personally, I don't like it. I think there's people like, you know, like, what was it, what does he say? Hip hop sharecroppers used to wear flip flops, now wear gear coppers, right? So you have these people that are just buying this stuff in bulk because, like, oh, I can resell it, right? So, like, they don't really appreciate MF Doom as, like, wherever he is. They're like, oh, I know MF Doom fans want this. Let me buy all of it so then I have, you know, I could sell it for 3 times the price, right? That's the thing I don't like, right? That's the thing I don't like, right? Because I'm like, oh, I want to buy these things, right? Maybe if he was alive, I would definitely more because I'm like, oh, I'm supporting my favorite artist, right?
Yeah, I think I get the same feeling. Yep.
So, but that being said, I think if he was alive or not alive, I don't think he would have cared. He would have just been like, screw you. They're not even. You know what would be cool?
I don't know if it's like a screw you. It's like
It's like, you've been had.
Yeah, you've been duped or whatever. Yeah, like that's more of it because I think Doom loves his fans. He's not gonna say like screw you to his fans.
Yeah. But the fans are idiots sometimes.
Most of the time, probably. And now, like, how often are you sort of listening to his music? Where is it in the playlist queue?
I have, like, this random every, like, 4 weeks, every 5 weeks. I just have
once a month?
Yeah, like, basically, like, once a month. I just have this MF Doom, like, itch, where I just listen to, like, all his songs. I'll listen to, like, random songs throughout all his different various albums and you know, names. And I actually want to ask you this question. What was the moment? I know you said it was you listening to Great Day. What was the moment you realized, like, this guy is more than just, like, a hip hop artist? Like, he is like you realize, like, oh, this guy is, like, not just, you know, like, he's not like Lil Wayne or, like, you know, like Common you were saying, right? He's, like, more than that. When did you realize that?
Sort of instantly I knew he was, like, different.
Yeah.
After listening to Danger Doom, Vaudeville Villain, Food.
Food.
And of course, Madvillain. I was like, this dude is an artist.
Yeah.
I don't remember the moment in which I like recalled it. I would say, like, when I'm done with the album, I'll like look at the album art and I'm just looking at some of like the things on there, like, you know, even like this one, right? It's so abstract.
It's beautiful. That's such a hard photo.
It's this is Doom. You barely see his eyes, right? There's darkness.
You don't even see
in the
his
bottom.
face. Like, you can't even see lips or anything.
You don't see the lips.
Yeah.
I think he's wearing a tank top. The Madvillain font like that, you know.
He's wearing his Knicks tank top.
Probably.
He always wore that. That's like his thing.
Yeah. He is. It's like there's so much said in here.
Yeah.
Yet there's like no words on the cover at all.
Yeah.
Except for Madvillain. That's where I knew, like, again, listening to the album.
Yeah.
That then he goes for something super like crazy and like chaotic, such as the image, the artwork for food, right?
Yeah.
He's like eating cereal and it's like there's stuff going on. It makes you think and it keeps you on your toes. That actually leads me into something else I want to talk about. This is gonna be a hot take.
Okay.
You know me with my hot takes.
Yes. Oh God.
I think artists now are being too abstract. So let me give you an example. Kendrick dropped the new album, GTX.
GTX.
No, that's the video graphic.
GTA.
GTA. Right? He dropped the new album.
Yeah.
It was him in front of a car.
Yeah.
And
that was actually the name of the car, I think.
It was the name of the car, the album.
Yeah.
It was a shadow drop. It's sort of like does it make you think? Is it art? I guess if you ask Kendrick, it's art. But it's sort of like boring.
What do you mean? Like the music is boring, or
no, it's too like. You know how like you go to an art show or art museum, and like there's these abstract paintings. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
But then you got like ones that are like a banana taped to a board, and it's selling for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening with like Kendrick and a lot of these artists nowadays. They have like these crazy different looking like artwork for their album covers, and it makes you like, okay, you start to think, what is he trying to say here? And then you're thinking, it's like, he's not saying anything. You know, he's not invoking any type of emotion or anything.
Yeah.
It's not like with this or like with other like Doom albums or anything like that. And that's and I think just like with I don't know what another good example, but like maybe even sort of like the Drake stuff, like with the emoji, the pregnant emoji.
Oh, dude, that was dumb.
Dumb.
Yeah.
And again, not knocking Kendrick's music, but like you're like they're trying to make a bold statement by being so unknownish. Like, what is this trying to say?
Yeah.
But it's not saying anything to me anymore. And the artwork.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like your first impression on the piece, right? It's the first thing you see before you listen to the music. So, is it that he's just like, and even going off the car, like, is the car representative of the album?
Yeah.
Or is it just he took a picture next to his car and he didn't know what to call the album, so he called it the car?
Yeah.
You know, like, is there some sort of journey about the car? Like Marshall Mathers LP 2, that was like, it's Eminem, it's him in his Slim Shady era, Slim Shady's dying. That was dope.
I think Recovery, I think that was the name of the album, right?
Recovery, that shows like him getting out of like his
he's like walking away, right? Like that's what the album is.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though. Do you think, okay, if I'm solely focused on music, right, why should I care about my album cover? Shouldn't my work do, like, should my music do that work for me? Like I can see an argument. You could say like, oh, same thing with books, right? Look at the cover of the book, like, oh, this book's probably gonna be really good, right? But it's not until you open it, you're like, oh, it wasn't that decent, or like, oh my god, it's amazing, right? But even then, you have books where you look at the cover, you're like, whatever. But you read it, you're like, oh my god, amazing book. Do you think maybe it is in now's like space or now's like I guess time. Do you think, or how important do you think having a great album art cover is to music or to hip hop or to any genre?
I think it depends on what you're trying to do.
Okay.
If you go into hip hop trying to extract as much money as you can from it, you spend $0 on the album art, and you spend the lowest amount of possible time creating it.
Yeah.
And like no features, and you get away with the most profit as possible, right? If you're trying to make a statement and solidify your legacy within hip hop, you got to think of the whole package. You gotta I'm not an artist though, right? So I'm just saying from a fan, but like if I'm Kendrick or if I'm Doom, I'm thinking about all the touch points of my brand to my audience.
Yeah.
The album cover, how it's delivered, right? Is it only on Spotify or only on Apple Music? That's a consideration I have to make. Is it only CD or is it vinyl as well? Or only digital, right? The length of the song, right? How long should I make it? How short should I make it? That's two different answers for two different types of rappers, right? The first rapper wants the most money. They'll go with a song that has high play time, because that's the higher the play time, the more they get paid from Spotify and other distribution platforms, right? Because they go off of non plays and stuff like that. If you're an artist, you don't worry about the business. You worry about what is my brand image, what is my interaction with the fans. Like Doom's like, I'm wearing a mask. Yeah. Right? And I'm wearing it everywhere. So he cares about that brand image everywhere he goes. Yeah. On stage, off stage, in interviews, everything. So it's important to those artists to have the whole package complete. Not worry about or not like album cover, even though it's insignificant because it has nothing to do with actually listening to music. I think it still plays a piece into the bigger picture. Like when I'm looking at the album cover and I'm listening to the song, that's so different than if I didn't have the album cover and I'm listening to it digitally.
I think I can agree with you on your answer. And there are, well, personally, like, I mean, I just wanted to ask you that question, but I do think album art adds to the music as well. The artist that comes to mind for me is St. John. His album cover
Isn't that like a Pope?
No, he's an artist. He makes pretty good songs. He has this one album cover. I can't remember the name of the album. I think it was Nothing Is the Same, or can't remember, but it is so cool. Like the art piece, it's fantastic, right? And he actually ended up selling like 50. Like he made like a poster of that album cover, and he sold like 500 of them. Like there was only 500 of those made, and he was selling it. And I do kind of find it fascinating when musical artists, collaborate with like artists, right? And they'll like with Kanye West, he got with I think his name is George Condor, amazing artist, right? And he made an album art for him for his albums, right? I can't remember the name of the artist that Trippie Redd had for one of his albums, but even like those albums, like I think it's cool because if you're buying into, like you said, you're buying into the art, right? You want to buy into the whole thing. As a fan, like you want to get the most for your like quote unquote money, right? Obviously, you're not really buying albums anymore. We just stream them from Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever, right? But just to have it on your background, right? Like when you're listening to music on your phone, right? You have the album in the background like that, right? And it's so cool to look at. Like, wow, this is really cool, right? So I think artists, what?
Real quick before I forget, when Apple, you told me this, like when Apple enhances the audio or adding like moving stuff to the album,
oh my god,
animated artbad for the album cover, amazing. That was so cool. The little things like that, man. The little things like that.
I think for like Bad Bunny's album, he had like the dolphins, like he has like a dolphin in it, right? And like it moves in the animated. I think that's so cool. No, I agree with you. But
with the Black Thought and Danger Mouse album, they had like, it was people with eyes and like the eyes blink.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think all that really solidifies like the art itself. But that being said, though, I want to go back on that point with you. Like Drake's album, Certified Lover Boy, right, with the little emojis, it didn't really evoke anything from me, right? I didn't really think of anything interesting. I thought, if anything, I'm like, this is like a lazy cover, right? This is not really like.
I think of that with Kendrick. Well, not all of Kendrick's.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, Good Kid, Mad City, like that's a fantastic album cover, right? But yeah, you're
And
right. With
Pimp a Butterfly.
Amazing, right?
Amazing.
Even Damn.
I was gonna say Damn for me.
No. I think Damn gives the same emotions as this. If you look at Damn,
if you look at this, right? Look
I
at
think
the
Damn is
effects
better
in this.
than the GCX or the album's called.
Oh, like the album art.
Yeah, the album. I think that album evokes more emotions for me. Like looking at it, like I was like, oh wow, like
He's
that.
just postured weird,
like
diagonal.
But like the thing is,
he
you
has
have
a
to
white T-shirt on. It's just
no, but
him.
you gotta understand. Like, I think the best. I mean, this is again my personal view, right? I think if you're gonna be an artist, or if I was an artist making music like that, I want to be like kind of esoteric. I want to give like signals or like an emotion with that art that goes in with the music I'm playing.
That's the
right?
word I was trying to use. So instead of too abstract, too esoteric.
Oh, okay.
I think they're too esoteric.
No, that is true. I don't like when they're
all of them are doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like you're like, wait, what is it? What is he trying to say here?
Yeah.
He's not saying anything.
Yeah.
And so with Damn, it's red font, Damn dot.
But I think that's
love
fine.
the songs on there.
Yeah.
I love Humble on there.
Yeah.
It's all caps for some reason. Don't know why all the songs are all caps. Whatever.
Yeah, why do artists do
I don't know.
that?
But again, it's the esotericness trying to add to the mystery. But it's like, dude, just give me a good album cover. Tell a story with the album.
Yeah.
There's no like the last Eminem album like that I mentioned. He said, listen to it from start to finish. It's all the skits, everything is placed in a way for a certain reason. Mm-hmm. Kendrick, he's just putting out 8 singles. All of that is independent from each other.
I think what artists are doing is that they realize, like, you know how we just spoke, we love artwork on albums, right? I think they're just putting all their stocks into that and none in their music. They're like, oh, well, you know, it's like with the cover, with that one saying, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, right? We're going to see a really cool, flashy looking album. Oh, we got to have it, right? Oh, you listen to, like this. A lot of people, what they do with records, they like hanging them as a collection, right? As an artist, like you said, business, right? They're gonna make a really cool cover. You may not like actually like the guy's music, but you're like, I like that art piece. I kind of want to hang it.
So you think it matters?
So then I think it matters. No, I don't. I'm not saying it matters. What I'm saying is I think they realize that they can make extra money because people don't care anymore, or that's what it seems like.
So you're saying that people will only buy the album for the
I'm
art?
not saying only, but that's a really big selling point now. Like aesthetics of it, like, oh, that looks really cool.
Well,
like example with me, I used to collect comics. Like I used to read comics, right? And there's been a few times where I bought random comics that I've never because of the way that I'm like, I like this. I want to hang this up. And that's the only reason I bought it is because I'm like, I love the way it looks.
Interesting.
Right?
Well, what are you gonna hang up when you're streaming the song digitally?
No, but that's the thing. Like I'm saying, those things kind of I guess matter when you're buying an actual physical copy and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But even like with Apple Music, right, or like when you're streaming it, when you're browsing like new music, you're like, oh, this looks cool cover. Let me click on it. Let me listen to songs, right? They got their playtime because you're listening to the album and you're like, this album wasn't good. I listened to every single song on it. Well, congratulations, you played yourself. They got their money, and you know you may not listen to the album again, but hey, it pulled in it pulled in the viewers. You know, it got playtime. So I think that's what's happening now.
And that's why I love like now we're in a state of subscription based services where you opt into a program and you get everything.
Yeah.
Because buying albums,
dude,
I miss it. I remember buying the Slaughterhouse's second album.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm wanting to buy the third album, Glass House. But yeah, like
I remember buying the album with you.
Yeah.
You and Kamar told me about it, and I bought it.
I that was such a good time. Yeah. I loved it. I loved the second, and I bought the first album too. I'm blanking on the second album's name, but anyways, the sort of I like that, but the music nowadays doesn't even justify
too risky.
buying
It's too
the
risky.
album. Yeah, like $15, even if it's like, you know, $10. I'm like, I don't know. Even having it laying around, like,
See, though, that's the
I
thing.
might lose a disc.
Back then, see, that's the thing. You would get so much cool things. Like I remember, I bought Kid. Until this day, I still love Kid Cudi. Right. I remember, I would only buy albums of artists I actually cared about. So I had both 30 Seconds to Mars album, their first and second albums. I had Kid Cudi had only dropped Man on the Moon 2 at that time, so I had his first and second album. I bought the Slaughterhouse album. I can't really think of any other albums I bought, but like, yeah, I would just buy albums of artists that I actually like mess with and I appreciate, and like I'm like, I'm buying this. Right now, like I agree with you. Like now it's like way too. I can't just $15, $10, $15. That's a lot, right? On Apple Music, boom, boom, boom. If I like the way I used to justify when I first got Apple Music, I'm like, if I download like 2 albums a month, I've justified me paying into Apple Music, right? Because like what, $15 for an album, you know, like $30, you know. So now, like, I don't even think about that. I'm just like, oh, new music, cool. Let me download it. I don't like it.
I love
cool. Get rid of it. Oh, I like it. All right, I'm keeping it. You know.
Love it. And yeah, I don't like, just looping back to the main thing. That's why I think music nowadays, even some of Doom's latest stuff, certain singles I like more than some of the stuff that, like the stuff he's featured on. I like some of it more than the stuff that he released himself lately. Before he passed. I've just grown up, and I think I have a different ear to things now, and I think I have certain high levels of expectations.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, when I look at these album covers, I'm like, I'm not impressed. When I listen to these artists now, I'm not really impressed.
Yeah.
I see myself going more back into time to listen to music than
Yeah.
hearing the older stuff. That had substance, that they put more energy into every song. It's not just 9 songs. Hey, maybe one of these will be a hitter.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why, like, even like people are raving about like Not Like Us. I'm not really a big fan of that. I love diss songs though.
Yeah.
I love diss songs from Royce, from even 50 Cent, dissing everybody on his come up.
Yeah.
I love it, but Not Like Us. It was catchy. It was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
I'm growing out of that era of like music. It's weird. It's weird.